Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, guys. Welcome to Chris is Talking, and this is my weekly anime review for Nanbaka, and this is for episode number 4. And in this episode, we get to see the Number Prison do their yearly tournament, New Year tournament thing. So yeah, so it was actually a pretty good episode. I wasn't feeling it as much at the beginning of the episode, and I think it was just due to the fact of so much information overload being thrown in my face, and it's like yeah, I would take in this information, but I want to know more about the characters. We're only on episode 4. Stop throwing out all these big pieces of like just numbers, continuous numbers. And I know it's called numbers, so ha 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 ha. But it was like, come on, guys, like let's just get to know the characters more. And when they actually started giving us more of the characterization of the backstories of the characters, I feel like that's where the strength lies. And I think this is personally because this series is so quick-witted. So much is going on so quick. It's like the information doesn't give you, they don't give us enough time to actually take in what we're being told. And every time we get shown a new character, it's like the characters don't stick around long enough for us to care or to even remember. So it's like this person's from cell number this, from building number this, and they are prison number this, and I'm like, oh my god, please, I can't take this in, to the point of where I was kind of bored, and I basically just shut myself off for a bit, and I was just watching it just kind of for the sake of watching it. But once it started going into the main backstory and stuff like that with Rock and like the guy that he was facing, and they started not even just the fight scene, but just kind of just more about him. I was like, oh, okay, cool. I actually like this character Rock a bit more. And the fact that he's not just strong for the sake of it, he doesn't like fighting. Fighting doesn't feed him. Fighting, I was like, what the hell? This guy is my kind of guy. Because if you have me on Instagram, you know I love food. I love food and I love exercise and training. That's like one of my other side things I love doing just as much as watching anime and movies and stuff like that. Exercise and food are my passion. So literally, Rock so far, he's climbing up there as one of my favorite characters, just because I see myself in him. In yeah, just for that, yeah. So Rock is slowly getting there, and I really kind of liked him. We did get to see more backstory of a few of the other characters. We got to see the other wardens from the different buildings. We got to see Monkey, Pheasant, and Dog, and we did actually see them in episode 2, I believe. So it's kind of like they're coming back. So they are reoccurring characters, and we got to see some of the people from their prisons or from their buildings and their cells and stuff, and they're quite strong and they're very interesting characters. And I feel like this is the kind of episodes that allow us to see where this series is going, or get to see the different kind of animation, the fight scenes, the different, I don't know, just a whole, it just makes it bigger because obviously it's all in the prison, so it's not like we get to see them travel or go to a different building or go to a different nest. So seeing characters from other building blocks and seeing their stories and seeing why they are how they are, and just seeing more people, it made it more interesting. And I actually ended up enjoying this episode a lot more as it went through. And by the end of the episode, I was like, oh, yeah, this is pretty cool. Now, I had to take a few notes because once again, maybe it's just because I was at work and in the gym, but no excuses. So I took some notes basically to help me make this review just a bit easier. So in the first fight, we got to see Jugo. Jugo, I say fight. It wasn't really a fight. Jugo basically all he had to do was write in Japanese because you know what? He's the only one that's Japanese, and he couldn't even do that. So he failed that quite miserably, which was like, oh, okay, Jugo. Well, thanks, I guess. So they lost the first tournament, no, the first, what is it, the first event? Yeah, so they lost the first event, the main characters lost the first event, then they went on to the second event, and it was building number 5 versus building number 13, and it was Yamato and Rock versus the two characters, a warden and a prison inmate from the other buildings. And yeah, so Rock actually ended up pummeling like that punch, that last punch that Rock gave the opponent was quite powerful. And I was like, oh shit. So moments like this, the animation kicks in and it actually ends up being very interesting and very enjoyable. So yeah, so Rock gave that guy a bang and it was really good. I know Yamato actually, something about Yamato. Why is Yamato so strong? Yeah, why is Yamato so strong? Fucking hell, Yamato is just a very interesting character. Like all we see him doing is press ups, like chin ups, and like the hammer that he had, he just was spinning it around, putting his finger, putting it in his nose, and it was like, what the fuck? And when Jugo tried to lift it up, it just almost bent his back backwards. That was hilarious. So yeah, so you know what, the comedy is starting to be more hit for me as it goes on, but it's only more hit when we get more of the backstory of the characters. If you're just giving me information and just continuous comedy, like back forth, it gets kind of boring, it gets kind of tiresome, and but I watch anime for the plot. So not for the plot, but for the actual plot in general. So like that's why I want to get. Why I will get into seasons. That's why I get into long running seasons, or even just short seasons, just for a good storyline. And that's why I actually watch a lot of seinen series. But something about this series when it first came out, I like the colors, I like the opening song, and I thought the characters were interesting. So I thought, fuck it, I'm gonna give this series a go. So yeah, so when they give a bit more plot and a bit more characterization and backstory to the series, this I feel like that's when it actually works. I feel because it's a comedy themed, like we know it's going to be funny. We know there's going to be gags and stuff, but they need not they need to, but like moments when they have the Gintama moments or their blood lad moments, it's like that's when it's like that's the most enjoyable. That's the most enjoyable. Just give us just a bit of plot, just a bit more of plot with the comedy and the action, a bit of backstory, and then give us a whole package. And obviously, we know this is a prison comedy, so we are going to get continuous comedy. But I feel like we need to have a bit more plot for the series to be stronger because it's not a bad series. Like as the episodes get to the end over time, I do find myself wanting to watch next week's episode. And this episode was an actually pretty good episode. I'll give it like a 6 out of 10, not because it's like bad or anything. I give it just above average because by the last third of it, I was really, really, really enjoying it. I'm not gonna lie, because by the end, who was fighting in the last one? So at the end, it was Uno. So he's number 11. He's the one with the plaits, and like he was going against these next two. Isn't that unfair that he's going against two people, considering that like everyone's going one on one and he's going against two other prison inmates? But yeah, so it was Uno and it was Satoru as well, the blue guy who got bullied in the last episode. Satoru, man, he takes the L in every single episode. But in this episode, we get to see that there's two things about him. One, he's pretty, and he has his own aura, which which Uno didn't have at all. Uno even tried to do his own aura, like his own Kamehameha, whatever the hell was trying to do. And I don't know if you guys have played Street Fighter. If you played Street Fighter, you would have seen sometimes when Dan tries to do some of his Hadouken, it just kind of gets nowhere. It's like, it didn't even like manifest. So that was the comedy there worked. It was a hit again. So that's what I'm saying. Parts of this episode were actually hit. It's when it's just too much information and loads of comedy which aren't connected to anything. But yeah, but then the comedy was good. So Uno, he was going against like some next two twin people who like God knows what their power was, but Uno had to play a game here where like he had to kind of match. I don't know. Basically, I don't know. I don't know what the game was. But I have seen the game before, and but the rules were explained off screen, and I feel like maybe the rules should have been explained on screen so that we could understand the game a bit more for those people who've never seen that game before. I have seen that game before in a few other animes, but I don't know, the amount of stuff I watch these days, I can't remember every single thing I watch. But yeah, so Uno was going against those two guys, and Satoru, he wiped the floor against the other warden that he went against. Wiped the floor to the point where you couldn't even see Satoru's hand move. All you saw was the pile of cards on his side, and I thought that was fucking legendary because finally Satoru doesn't take the L and Satoru actually shows that he's actually good at something, and everyone was like, what, he's actually good at something? But yeah, so this was a really cool episode. I liked how it I liked how it opened up with the warden and how she just wants Hajime's D. She just wants the D from Hajime. She literally did. The main characters didn't even need to be in this tournament. She literally just did her little thing so that she could just see Hajime on a platform. She just wants to see Hajime all to herself. I don't know what the hell. God knows how this series is going to finish. But fortunately, it's not some ecchi series, so it's just going to be pretty cool. And hopefully they get together. I don't know. Maybe they confess each other's love. Do you think they'll confess each other's love? Who knows? Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Do subscribe, like, share. Let me know what you thought of this episode and what are your thoughts on this series. And are you going to stick around until the end of the series? Yeah, I'm actually interested to see where next week's episode is going to go. But yeah, have a great day. Chris is talking. Peace.